All right, what's up, everyone? I figured it is time to do an upgraded how to mod shredders video in 2025. There have been some slight changes since the previous tutorial, and some new mods that I wanted to kind of touch on more in depth. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hmm. All right, so the very first thing you'll make sure you want to do is download Melon Loader. This is assuming that you don't have it installed already. If you do have it previously installed, you can skip this step because you should be good to go. If you do have it installed already, you should be able to skip this step because you should be good to go. But assuming you do not have it installed already, you'll want to navigate in the modding Discord down to script mods under Melon Loader. And if you are a Steam user, we'll go over Steam first. You want to make sure that you have .NET installed. So first click on this link. Okay, and once you click on the link, it should automatically start downloading. You can see here it's in my downloads folder. Once this has downloaded, this is a very important step that is often overlooked. Open the file. You can open it from this preview or from your downloads folder directly. I already have this installed, but let's go ahead and just hit repair. If you don't have it installed, it will have an install button for you. Once you have successfully installed, it'll say successfully completed or successfully installed and let you know what was installed exactly. Now you can close this window and head to step 2. Okay, now step 2 is going to be installing the Melon Loader installer. This updated installer is very handy and a very quick method for installing Melon Loader, especially on Steam. It is not very easy on the Xbox app, so we will go over the steps on how to do Melon Loader for Xbox. But first, click on the link to download the installer. Potential dangerous download. It is safe, I promise you. Just click on continue to download. Now that has completed download, simply open the file. And now in this new installer, it'll show all of your recently played Unity games or Unity games that you have installed on your computer. You see we have shredders here, so we will click it. So we'll want to make sure that we select a version of either 0.6.6 or 0.6.5. Only these two will work with the new PampleBox mod. I have tested 6.6. We can go ahead and just use that one. And once we have that selected, we will just hit install. And your Melon Loader has now successfully installed. So if for whatever reason your game is not showing in this installer, you do have the option to add the game manually. So what we'll want to do with that is open up Steam to find your game location. In Shredders, right click on the game, hit Manage, and browse local files. This will now take you to your game location. So what you'll want to do is simply click in this bar here. This will all be highlighted. You can Control C to copy, or maybe even right click and copy. Now back in the installer, hit Add Game Manually. And now in this window, right click and paste. And once you get to this folder, you'll want to look for the icon like this that says shredders.exe. If you don't see this, what you can do is change the view down to details, and you'll now have a full list of things here. Sometimes previews don't show the file type here, the little extension. So what you'll want to do is just look for anything that says shredders with application attached to it. That will be your exe. So once that's selected, we'll go ahead and just hit open. My game is already listed, so I got an error, but this is just in case it is not showing there. That would be how to add it. Okay, and for Xbox app users, your installation process for Melon Loader will be a little bit different, but everything else shown in the video will be exactly the same, minus the step that everything needs to go in your Shredders content folder, not the main Shredders directory. So first, we need to download .NET I already have this installed, but what you need to do, this is a very important step and often overlooked. Just downloading it is not enough. You need to actually open the file. You'll have a button here that says install. So we will click on that. Installation was successful. The following was installed. So now this is the important step. It's a little bit different from the Steam version. We will click on this GitHub link, continue to download. This is going to give you Melon Loader files rather than the installer. You do need to copy and paste all of these into your Shredder's location. So how to find your location for Xbox, simply search for the Xbox app. If you're using the Microsoft app, I'm not exactly sure how that works. I'm pretty sure it's still all Xbox though. So click on your Shredder's game. On the three dots here, more actions, manage, files, and click browse here for your install location. So now open up Shredder's. And again, so you go to Shredder's, content. Now this is where everything goes. So with this Melon Loader folder open, I'm using WinRAR to get this view. I highly recommend it. Left click on Melon Loader, holding Shift all the way down to Dobby DLL. You need all four of these folders. Now drag and drop into Shredder's content, and your Melon Loader is now installed. You will need to launch the game in order for the mods folder to generate, as well as the additional Melon Loader folders that are needed for some additional steps that we'll go over. All right, now for step 4, we need to launch the game from Steam to let Melon Loader finish the installation. So let's open up Steam again. Let's launch our game. This will take some time. The very first launch does take a few minutes to just let Melon Loader do its thing. All right, and once it has completed, you should come to this screen to move forward. And once you get past this initial loading screen, we are just going to close the game so that we can add in the mods. Okay. Game is loaded. We don't have any mods yet to test anything. What we'll do is just hit pause, go to the menu to quit. This is also an important step for future steps that we'll be doing with mods, so get familiar with this quit menu. All right, press X to quit. Let's head on to installing mods. Okay, so now that we're back in the modding Discord, still under script mods, we'll go under mod releases. This channel houses all of the currently working mods. Within these boxes, it does show you the hotkeys for opening the mods. So map importer, activate, press B. BJ tools, to activate, press T. You'll see TDV menu also is T to open the menu, so they do open at the same time. And PampleBox usage, activate, press P. So those are always available in the mod releases. Look for these boxes if you ever forget how to open them. So starting with the map importer, what you'll do is look for the DLL file, click and download. This is for custom maps. Windows may flag this as a harmful file. So if you do get this in your browser, click on the three dots, click on keep. Now this menu, hit show more and keep anyway. And we'll do the same thing for the rest of these mods. Now lastly, PampleBox 2.0. This one will require some additional steps to be taken before you can actually use the mod, just the way that it's set up in order to generate the additional folders. So we will be diving into this one a little bit deeper, so stay tuned for that. All right, now that the base mod DLLs are downloaded, what we'll do is open up our Shredder's location. Again, from Steam, you can right-click, manage, browse local files, and now we have our Steam location. I would recommend This is just personal preference for ease of access. You can drag this folder down to quick access. Now we will have this available on our side panel so that you can quickly access the files if needed. So what we need to do now, if you see now in our mods folder, there's nothing. So what we need to do is I'm going to right click, open a new window. I'm going to simply just move these around so I can see both at the same time. From here, we will double click our mods folder so that we are now in our mods folder. And we can left click, shift, left click, drag and drop over to mods. If they do have any of these ones here, it doesn't really make a difference for mod DLLs exactly, but just for cleanliness, we can go ahead and just delete these to make things clean. So now those are there. And just a brief explanation for what each mod does. So the map importer is for custom maps. You do need this for custom maps, which there is an additional step there. In order to have custom maps work, you do need to go back into your shredders folder, click on shredders data, and you need to create a folder in here that says custom maps, all one word, no space. And then from here, you will place just the file from the zip folders that you can find on mod.io. We can go over that as well. Okay, so now that our mods are added to the mods folder, let's launch the game again. All right, so again, TDV and BJ tools both open with T. So I'll hit T on my keyboard. You can see the menus here. So TDV menu does help with gravity, spin, flip, roll, and jump height. I would personally not click any of these. Mission visibility does cause some issues, so definitely do not touch this button. And really, in PampleBox, there are additional gravity and jump height settings. So the only thing this is useful for anymore, I'd say, is the spin, flip, and roll. Really don't need anything else here. For BJ tools, you can set max drone height. This again, game has updated. This is no longer needed. But you can set the max drone height if you're on a custom map that is well above the map. Sometimes it does give you issues, so that's what this would be used for. This button will toggle mountain. You can see I just went floating into the abyss because I toggled the vanilla mountain. You can toggle fog and toggle clouds. It adds some additional clouds to the sky that are not there in game. You can rail magnetism. You can turn to false. I'm going to turn this to false because, again, that is something that is in PampleBox, which I won't go over too in-depth just because there's so many settings, but I will briefly explain which each does. And again, right or no bounds equals false. We can change that to true, and then we will actually need to quit and save. We will need to actually quit the game from the main menu for that to save. That'll be necessary if you don't have all of the regions unlocked and are trying to play custom maps. You'll sometimes get Yeti kicked, as they call it. This will help avoid that issue. All right, so let's get rid of that. Our next one will be map importer. So I press B. You can see here we have our new Duluth map. We have the option to change the sun and moon elevation from here. Light intensity, you can make it either brighter or dimmer. Skybox exposure is more so for custom maps that have custom skyboxes, so we don't need to worry about that. You also have the option to auto hide vanilla terrain when you launch into a custom map. The option to teleport to default spawn on map loading. This is more so used for map creators. And then you can also turn off snow particles. This does work in game for everything. Some custom maps do have custom light setups that are using this tag to be able to turn on and off lamps. That will sometimes help with performance if you're on a custom map that is sort of bogging you down. And to load maps, what you'll simply need to do is just, once you have them in the correct location, you'll click on that there, and it'll take a little bit of time just to load you in, and now you're on your custom map. All right, so again, to open PampleBox, we press P on our keyboard. We can see we have all of these buttons here. These are our different menus. We have gear, stance, shape, animation, camera, gravity, rail, turn, brake, friction, miscellaneous. As you can see, on the gear module, we can't see anything. I wonder why that could be. If we read here, it says activate module to see settings. Click on the activate button. Now we can see load boards, bindings, headwears, goggles, masks, etc. So to use these, we don't have anything installed yet, but the very first important step that is needed in order to have that, as we look here, the location that these will be created is actually going to be in your user data folder, PampleBox gears. You can see now that we've activated it, we have these folders available. Before you activate, these are not there. So it is very important that you do activate here. Same with the stance mod. We need to activate this. The stance mod does is it changes the bindings and your legs. So we can change the width here. I'll just go a little wide. Change the angle of both your feet. And you can also change body rotation. I don't quite understand this one, so I'm just going to reset it, to be completely honest. And now moving on to shape, you activate this. This will change the shape of your board. There also is a menu for advanced shaping. This is way too in-depth. I'll let you mess around with that on your own. But basically what this does, you can change the length of your boards. I do like mine a little bit shorter. You can change the global width. See here, it's moving the width of the board. And then global position will be basically where your bindings are set. So we can just reset this here to default. Animation. This does have on-ground board smoothness, in-air board smoothness, and body smoothness. I have not personally messed around with a lot of these, so I don't have much information, but you can experiment as needed. Camera. This one is very important. Once we hit activate, you'll see we have the option for speed shakes, impact shakes, and probably one of the more requested, we have first person. If you click activate here, you'll see I am now in first person mode. I reset. Now I'm writing. There is a little bit of clipping. Could probably change that with my field of view or just reset. Again, some experimenting needed. All right. I don't feel like throwing up this morning, so I'm going to be turning that off. Gravity, again, activate. Some of the more frequently used, I know I use this personally, is about 13 gravity, and I'll keep 10 gravity on the ground. Rail, activate. Magnetism, I do like to turn this down very low. I don't like a whole lot of magnetism. Maybe I'll keep it around like 12. Correction. And aimer, I don't want it to aim me or pull me into anything, so I'm just going to keep that at 0. So turn, you have a whole lot of settings here. Again, you can experiment as needed. Brake, activate. Friction, activate. And then miscellaneous, activate. This does have some additional things like being able to change the color of the menus and forcing player off-screen rendering. This helps like if you get too close to the player while you're zoomed in the drone, it'll sometimes remove gear. Doesn't seem to be happening now, but it does happen with the custom gear. So you would want to tick that in order for it to stay active. And now this is a very important step to keep those things activated. You need to go in the pause menu, go back to quit, and now quit the game. Okay, now once we've quit the game, let's open it one more time just to make sure that our activation of everything's saved. All right, so if we pull up the PampleBox menu once again, you can see all of these are now saved as activated. Beautiful. All right, so let's add some gear. If you head over to the tutorial section, You'll see this post here, how to install PampleBox base pack found in getting started. I do recommend following this video, but I can also briefly go over it here. So what we'll do is let's just head over to getting started. And there is this section right here, these base packs. You will need a third-party sort of extraction type of program like 7-Zip or WinRAR. I'll be using WinRAR. I can leave a link in the description. But first, let's download these files. You will need both of them. You'll see this one looks like a zipped file and this one does not, but they actually both are. So let's go ahead and just download here. Again, continue to download. That is downloading. We'll go back to this one and download as well. Okay, we should be familiar with opening our shredder's location, so let's do that now. Keep that here. Going to right click on download and open in a new window. So now with our download window open, we will left click on the top file, shift left click on the second file, and now I'm going to just drag and drop these into our shredder's location. And we do want to extract in this location. It will go into user data. So first, let's extract this zip file. I'll right click and click extract here. Now on the second file, we will right click, extract here. But we have an error. If you do run into this error, just click close. We're going to copy this location again, click in the bar, right click, copy. Now I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to click extract files. This is now going to open up this window. Now in this section, I'm going to right click, paste the shredder's location and just hit OK. It shows some duplicates. We will just hit yes to all. And now our base packs are installed. So we'll go to user data, PampleBox, gears, and we should have all of the clothing files now from the base packs. Perfect. So one thing to note here, there are some folders that actually aren't used, and you can tell by the way the date is modified here. Accessories used to be a folder, but it has been updated to just additionals, so we can delete accessories. And face is now just included, everything's in heads, so we can delete face. Everything else should be good to go. So now let's download some additional files from the Discord server. All right, so once we've read the getting started messages, we will click on any of these channels. You'll see some gear has already been created. And then all we need to do is just download the bundle and put them in the PampleBox folders. So let's go ahead and start with some pants. I know this is a highly requested one of the old baggy base mesh. So what we need to do here is first read the instructions. So this is the old baggy mesh. It's a base bundle. It is initially created by Space, and the textures included in this pack were previously posted in the pants channel for the old texture mods. So we need to download the full pack and extract into shredders, user data, PampleBox, gears, pants folder. So let's download this file. Again, continue to download. Once we have that open, we can click here. Within WinRAR, you can see old baggy. So it does say extract. You don't necessarily need to extract. All you need to do is, if you have WinRAR, open up pants, and we're going to just simply place in shredders, user data, PampleBox, gears, pants. So now with the pants folder open and WinRAR open, we can just drag and drop this file into here. You can see this includes an old baggy mesh and a number of additional textures. So how do we use that? So now back in game, to my character, opening the PampleBox mod with P, heading to gear. Let's go to pants. One of the beautiful things about this mod, you can make changes to your PampleBox folders with the game open, and it will update in real time. So we now have an old baggy option. So we'll click on the base mesh first. So now you can see that changed my pants. And now when we go into old baggy textures, we can now change the textures of these pants one by one in real time without having to modify the game files. If you do have anything from the old textures menu, this is still available, that you would like to have converted to PampleBox. You can scroll through these channels, the mitts, masks, all things that are here. You can simply right click, copy link message, and then still in the PampleBox gear, go to request channels, create a new post saying, please convert this snowboard, enter message, paste, and it'll send a link to that post so that if anybody would like to pick up that request, they know what it's called, what it looks like, and they can download the file and grab the textures from it. All right, last thing, I'll just show you quickly how to install custom maps. So if we go under mapping, custom maps, you'll see there are a list here of maps available. They're all available on mod.io. So what we'll do is click the mod.io link, download this version here. This is a zip file, like I mentioned before. You only need the file within here. The zip file will not load in game. So we'll open up our Shredder's location once again. Head over to Shredder's data, custom maps folder. And now with this open, simply drag and drop the bundle file. And now that is available. So if we go into Shredder's, you can press B to open up the map menu and click on Hot Laps. All right, and now we are in our custom map. And that pretty much covers how to mod Shredders in 2025. So if there are any questions or anything not working for you, feel free to reach out in the modding Discord. Otherwise, keep shredding.